Welcome back to our second Let Me Read It To You So You Don't Have To video. Today's topic is something that I've actually spoken to parents often about throughout the years: growth mindset. Now, this might be a new concept for you. That's okay. What I want you to remember is this: a growth mindset focuses on learning from mistakes to better skills or abilities. So, we get better at things the more we try. To give you a bit of a contrast, someone with a fixed mindset, not a growth mindset, fixed mindset, believes they're just not good at maths. Just think about that for a second. It contradicts the purpose of trying. I've never been good at this. I'm not good at science. It almost gives kids, and adults actually, an excuse to not try. A growth mindset is something that can really, really help language learning. So let's get stuck into it. Vlog 2. Why a growth mindset is key to English success for kids. When it comes to learning English, some kids pick it up really quickly, while others struggle and start to feel like they're just not good at languages. But here's the thing: English success isn't about natural talent, it's about mindset. And the good news, a growth mindset can actually completely change the way your child learns English. What is a growth mindset? A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can develop with effort and practice. It's the opposite of a fixed mindset where kids believe they're either good or bad at something and that no amount of work can change that. When kids have a growth mindset, they see challenges as opportunities, they mistakes as learning moments and effort as the key to improvement. Let me tell you a little bit about my personal journey with growth mindset. I didn't actually really understand the concept of growth mindset until my second year in university. In one of my courses, we explored different teaching strategies, and one of the most emphasized topics was the importance of fostering a growth mindset in students. At the time, this felt like a completely new way of looking at challenges. I remember feeling excited as I started to understand how shifting a student's perspective could actually help push them through those difficulties better. Once I began applying these ideas in real classrooms, I saw firsthand how students still struggled with challenges, but the way that they faced them changed. Instead of shutting down, feeling defeated, they became more reflective, more persistent, and more confident they could actually find solutions. They started seeing difficulties as opportunities actually, not roadblocks. This was really cool to see. That experience shaped my approach as an educator and reinforced why building a growth mindset is such a crucial part of learning, especially when it comes to mastering English. This brings us to our next topic: how a growth mindset helps with English learning. So many children struggle with English, not because they lack ability, but because they lack confidence. This is a big thing. A child who thinks, I'm bad at writing, or I'll never be good at speaking English, will avoid practicing. And as a result, they're going to struggle more. But a child who thinks, I'm still learning, or mistakes help me improve, will keep trying. And eventually they will actually grow stronger in English. Okay, our next segment: ways to encourage a growth mindset in English learning. Let me give you some tips. Tip number 1, praise effort, not just results. So instead of saying you're so smart, try saying, I love how hard you worked on that. This shifts the focus from natural ability to effort, and it helps your child understand that improvement comes from practice. So tip number 1, focus on effort, not just the end result. Tip 2, turn mistakes into learning moments. If your child mispronounces a word or struggles with grammar, avoid saying, that's wrong. Instead, try saying, that was good. Let's figure this out together. When mistakes are seen as part of learning, kids actually stop being afraid to try. They just get right into trying. Set small, achievable goals. Big goals can feel overwhelming. Instead of saying, let's improve your English this year, break it down into smaller steps. This week, let's learn 5 new words, or let's practice speaking English. for 10 minutes a day. Small successes help kids see their progress. This is important. Tip number 4, model a growth mindset yourself. If your child hears you say, I was never good at languages, they actually might start to believe that they're the same. English is not something you're either naturally good at or not. You need to keep trying. So something important is modeling that you're still learning. You know, you can say things like, I'm still learning too. Modeling a growth mindset is a very important one. 5, provide a supportive learning environment. Children thrive when they feel safe to make mistakes. You know, whether it's at home or in an English tutoring program, a supportive teacher or parent can really help develop confidence and resilience in a student's journey. You know, at GKEA, we focus on student-centered learning. You know, building confidence by making English fun, engaging, most importantly though, stress-free. Make the environment comfortable to be in for the student or your child. This brings us to my final thoughts. Success in English isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. With a growth mindset, kids become more confident, they take more risks, and ultimately because of this, they learn faster. If you want to support your child's English journey, encourage them to embrace mistakes, keep trying, and believe in their ability to do it. This is an important thing and a very big part of a growth mindset. If you're looking for a learning environment that does these kinds of things, please feel free to check us out, gkea.net. But in the meantime, I will see you next week for blog post number 3, everyone. Bye!